Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is going to be a video of Sony's INZONE Mouse A. This is a new symmetrical mouse on the market and one that I think is really good. Somebody was just asking the question or raised a comment on Twitter the other day, like, what can we do with gaming mice? There are so many good mice on the market, so many different shapes. There's like not really any area that you can go. And Sony came in and dropped the INZONE Mouse A and proves that there is still uniqueness to shapes and areas to explore that are uncharted territory. This is a really good shape and one that is very unique on the market right now. Like the bracket, I would probably say falls in line with something kind of around a G Pro Superlight, kind of a little bit like the XEV2, but a little bit higher and just a much different backside, and just stays very wide throughout the base of the mouse as well. And in general, I would say, like, if you like that XEV2, the Air 58, the G Pro Superlight size bracket, this could definitely be something that I would say is a pretty good recommendation to test out if you're looking for a new symmetrical, unique shape on the market. The one thing I will say is in the hand, in comparison to a G Pro Superlight, you've got something that feels very vanilla and very potato-like because of how narrow in the hand it kind of rounds out on the sides in the G Pro Superlight. When you are using the Sony INZONE mouse, this backside hump starts so early back here and kind of elongates a little bit and then rounds out pretty aggressively until it gets to the middle of this hump. It kind of like rounds out and stops that climb right about here and rounds out here towards the mid side of the mouse. But it feels so good in the hand. It just curves in that pocket on the bottom side of your palm that it kind of makes you want to palm grip this mouse. But it is something that is, for my hand size, I can still fingertip this pretty nicely with a relaxed fingertip and get a lot of in-hand movement with the Sony INZONE Mouse A. It's not something that I would say is like very, very large like the new Cloud Ultra. It definitely does feel smaller in the hand in terms of its overall grip width and how elongated it is. But you can see the difference here on the Sony INZONE Mouse A is just how wide the mouse actually stays in the hand towards the mid side, whereas a lot of conventional mice just swoop in and become more narrow from the butt of the mouse all the way to the middle of the mouse. And we can see that pretty aggressively on the Vaxi Ninjutsu Sora. You've got this nice curve over this hump with how my fingers round out to the right side of the mouse. And the Mouse 1 and Mouse 2 kind of aggressively taper down. You can see from the peak of the hump down to Mouse 1 and Mouse 2, whereas it's a little bit less aggressive on the G Pro Superlight, but it just makes for a really locked-in feel with my fingertips. And the sides of the mouse, again, just remaining really nice and wide. It makes for not only a mouse that I can get a lot of in-hand maneuverability, but a mouse that just remains very comfortable in its symmetrical shape and one that feels, again, very unique on the market right now. There's nothing on the market that I've tried that is like the Sony INZONE Mouse A, and I think this shape is a home run, at least as far as I can talk to with my size hands. Now, the other things with the Sony INZONE Mouse A, it's got all of the beefy internals. It's got a 3950 sensor. It's got optical switches. The one thing I will say with the Sony INZONE Mouse A is these optical switches, although they are very light, my Mouse 1 and Mouse 2 are not the most consistent feeling or sounding. And you can hear that as I just hit Mouse 1 and Mouse 2. And I'll get my mic a little bit closer for you guys. And I feel like that's okay, but for this price point, I would want the main buttons to feel really, really buttoned up. In comparison to something like the NP01S Ergo, the difference in the consistency and the difference of that pop on Mouse 1 and Mouse 2 is very significant. The mouse buttons on the Sony INZONE mouse just feel a little bit dull when you press them. You don't get that nice, satisfying, like you're snapping a chip when you smack into Mouse 1 and Mouse 2. It's just got this very dull, although very light click. It's not horrible, but for 150 bucks, I do wish it was a little bit better. And if this mouse had switches that felt like, or a click tensioning experience that felt like the NP01S Ergo, I mean, this mouse would just be like the supreme right now for what I would be using. I paid for this mouse. I did not get it for a review, and it is a mouse that I can make a determination right now. Do I want to return it and get the money back, or do I want to keep it? And it is a mouse that I'm going to keep because the shape is just really nice and satisfying and refreshing for me. and I do like it more than Vaxi's XEV2. The 48 gram shell here that I have is so lightweight in feel, even though it's 48 grams, which to me is lightweight. I know it's not to others, but it is so well dispersed in the shell that it really does feel like a weightless mouse. It feels feather light in the hand with how big the shell is, but how well it's dispersed. These side buttons feel really nice, quite different experience here of the Mouse 1 and Mouse 2. I get a nice, satisfying, crispy click. The side buttons, of course, could always be a little bit better, but these side buttons I feel are very, very good on the Sony INZONE mouse. Scroll wheel is nice. The scroll up and down, it's got a nice tactile feedback, but it's also very smooth in feel. And Mouse 3 is very spammable. Again, my only issue would be the inconsistency of my Mouse 1 and Mouse 2. I have no real side flex, not really a lot of pre-travel or post-travel. I just wish the clicks were a little bit snappier and more consistent like the Vaxi. Overall, like the build quality here is really nice. I mean, the thing is built like an absolute tank, which is what you want for 150 bucks. I can activate the side buttons by pushing really, really hard, but that is an amount of force that I would never use in game. So overall, shell integrity, very good here. You can see there are these little hexagon cutouts on the bottom side of the mouse, but they are covered with a light see-through film, so it's pretty cool. You can see the PCB. You got the power button here, and the coating is actually really nice. It stays very dry in very hot, humid moments. Very, very dry, almost like I've dipped my hand in chalk. This thing just glues to my hand. So whatever they've done here, it is a really nice coating in my personal opinion, and I would definitely recommend it. The only thing, again, is in black. Like a lot of black mice, it does pick up a lot of oil prints and fingerprints. So the Sony INZONE Mouse A is fantastic. It really took me by surprise, and it's a shape that I think is mainable. Again, think like an XEV2, but the backside just raises so much more abruptly, and it gets quite a bit higher, and there's just such an aggressive swoop downward on this mouse. It really does feel great, and it feels really comfortable the way these thumb curves and the right side curve on the butt of the mouse, like you still get a nice, decent hit with that curvature in your thumb area, but it's something that just stays nice and wide and really comfortable in my hand. So my hands are a little bit over 21.5. It feels really good for me. And despite the issue with the clicks, I wish they felt a little bit snappier, a little bit better, something like the Vaxi NP01S Ergo. But otherwise, this is a mainable shape. I'm performing like an absolute animal. It just feels really, really good in my hand, and I can't emphasize that enough. To me, the mouse really does feel fantastic. So I know it's 150 bucks. It is a unique shape. Maybe wait for it to go on sale if the price offends you, but it feels good. That's it for this one, guys. I hope it helped. If it did, leave a sub to the channel. See you guys in the next review. Peace.